Hey there, in this video I thought I would show you my jelly bear progress. This is kind of how it all started. So let me get rid of some of these to start off with. This was my very first jelly bear, and I don't know why I chose it as a still life piece. I just really like the fact that it was a single thing, a single small item. There were plenty of reference pictures online, and I was able to use just a few colours, and I just loved the way that the light going through the jelly bear would create various shades, tones, highlights, lowlights, shadow. It was just a really interesting piece to draw. The transparency and the translucency, just creating so many different variables and different colours of red, even in that one object that technically was a single colour. So I started out with alcohol markers, and as you can see, this is a really crude example. I'm not particularly good at sketching, and I've overcompensated there with this kind of scrubbed black line. You can see I've used maybe a pink, a dark red and a regular red, and I've just added in some kind of quite coarse white highlighter using a white highlighter pen. But yeah, all together, wasn't very happy with that, but it kind of started this kind of burning passion in me that I was going to replicate these jelly bears. This is the second one that I drew, and as you can see, I bought pencils that perhaps were not heavily pigmented. There were only two different colours of red, something I didn't notice when I bought the set. And as you can see, even the black isn't really very dark on there. So I was able to get kind of the shape that looked a little bit better. Again, quite a lot of highlights in here, but I've had to use a black to darken down the shadows, when really, as you'll see in a minute, it would have been better if I used a darker red. From there, I got some pastels. I thought maybe it would be better if I were able to blend these colours together with my finger and use a fixative at the end. Instead, there were only, I think, two shades of red. There was like a red and an orange and a purple, and I tried to make it work. I thought maybe I can make it look abstract. And in the end, I just realised that no matter how much colour I laid on this picture, I couldn't make it look anything even close to realistic. And I kind of gave it up as a bad job. But it just goes to show you can start out with one intention and you can end up with something completely different when it doesn't go the direction that you were hoping for. I think I gave up on the red bears for a while and moved to green. I wanted to see whether maybe I got more greens and whether there was an ability to blend them in a different way. And again, you can see with this one, I've gone far too wide in terms of the shape. I think I just kept adding and adding and adding because, again, I'm not very good at sketching and I didn't do a proper outline. And I feel I've gone for a bit of mission creep there, where I think he's almost like the Hunchback of Notre Dame of the jelly world. So this one was the next one, which I did from a slightly different angle. So rather than being from above, I wanted to show the depth using this different angle. And again, that the highlights, the darkness, it just wasn't ideal, but it was definitely moving me forwards in terms of progress. I think this one and this one are kind of where things started to change a little bit, because I realised that what I needed were these really darker reds and the very beautiful light pinks. I needed to create more contrast, and so that's what I did in this one. And I think this is probably where I bought some decent pencil crayons, and as you can see, I've used kind of whites and pinks. There's a lot more blending and shading that's gone on here. I think I'm still using some darker colours, like possibly even a black here or a very, very dark blue, but you can probably see that there is a darker red in there and things are starting to kind of take shape. Eventually, this is the last one that I've done so far. I'm not going to say it's the last one I've done ever, but I just wanted to show the progress between this one and this one, which was only about 3 months. And if I can tell you, again, I'm not holding this out as an amazing piece by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a hobbyist artist. I do it for fun and for pleasure rather than for profit. Certainly not trained in any way. And again, I would say that there are far better artists out there. These brilliant artists that do hyperrealism that I follow on YouTube myself. So be sure to check them out. I will link them in the comments section below. But I just wanted to show that there is a capacity to make a jump in terms of progress. And with this, it probably took me about 10 hours to draw. Lots of layers. I was a lot lighter in terms of my pressure. and I really spent time analysing sort of the shadows, the darkness, where the light was hitting, looking at these highlights. You can see these are a little bit more targeted, and it was just really a matter of patience and observation. And I'm sure that if I did another 10, you know, it would be better than this one, and I could do another 10 again and it would be better than that one. So it's just about perseverance really, and using the right tools. With this I used some burgundies, some really dark, almost brown in terms of the reds, and I think that made a massive difference. So yeah, there's still plenty of work to be done, but I just wanted to show you that you can make progress in a very short space of time just by having that power of observation, by getting the right tools, and just really committing to it and slowing down the process, being focused on the process rather than the result. Anyway, I will put some links in the description below so that you can see artists that I follow, any of the tools that I use. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask and I'll do my best to answer. Thank you so much for watching.